Another installment of the candidate interviews. Tonight we have Dennis McEnaney, candidate for mayor for the city of Mount Vernon. Denny, welcome.
Thank you, Robert.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Bubs.
All right. So we'll begin. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running for mayor.
All righty. I prepared some of my statements, so I'll just probably use those notes to talk through some of these things. Okay. As a little background, Phyllis and I have lived in Mount Vernon for 26 years. And we have 2 children and 6 grandchildren. I'm a Vietnam Air Force veteran and hold a degree in electrical engineering. I have retired as a senior regional director at Illinois Power and following 29 years of service with the company. I've been active in the community, serving as a member of the Rend Lake College Board of Trustees and a county appointee to the Mount Vernon Airport Authority. I'm a former member of the city's Planning Commission, the Minority Affairs and Human Relations Council, and the Jefferson County Development Corporation. I am currently a member of the Downtown Development Corporation, Noon Rotary, a trustee at Cedarhurst, and I'm also the project chairman of the Rotary Strive program at the high school. I joined the council in 2009 and had the honor to serve the city for 8 years. Unfortunately, after I started, it didn't take long to see that the city was in real trouble. The 2010 census showed a population of 15,227 residents. Compared to 30 years previous, in 1980, the population was 17,193. For 30 years, the population has gone down. People were leaving the city. Mount Vernon is at its lowest it's ever been since 1950. In addition, in 2010, the unemployment was high at 10.2%. Median income was low, poverty level was high, and home sales and values were down. The city literally was dying. And this is what had really jolted the council into doing something aggressive and strong. We approved the comprehensive plan and we financed $45 million of needed capital improvements. And as a result of this, the city today has seen approximately $1 billion in new private investments, 1,500 new jobs, a greater median household income, a reduction in poverty level, and higher volumes of homes sold in the area. My number one priority is for running for mayor is to keep pushing the city forward. I have the experience and proven success, and I see us becoming stronger, bigger, and having a higher quality of life for all. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so you got the questions that we've given to all the candidates, so we'll begin. We hear a lot about transparency. It seems communication is lacking when it comes to governing boards. What is your plan and commitment to ensure that any actions you propose is clearly communicated to the citizens of Mount Vernon?
Thank you. Communication is the key. This means listening to residents' questions and getting them the answers. We have been working to improve our communications with the public, the city has. It has set up a Facebook accounts and just finished a complete overhaul of our website. Easier access to information plus questions and comments can now be made through these 2 avenues. Also, phone numbers and email addresses are listed in the paper, and residents are encouraged to call or send their city questions and comments that way. With the Open Meeting Act, all decisions related to city business have to be made in the public, and agendas must be posted 48 hours in advance. We have 2 formal meetings scheduled once a month on the 1st and 3rd Mondays, and other formal meetings must also follow these same rules. Also, all open meetings are required to have a place on the agenda for public input. In addition, we are given monthly updates at the council meetings on infrastructure projects and programs. The city has quarterly budget reviews and comprehensive plan updates. The city encourages citizens to reach out through these means so their comments and questions can be addressed. Also, I plan to speak with the city manager to send out an information sheet listing all these updated internet sites, email addresses, and other avenues that citizens can use to contact our city. In addition, we will continue to explore new ways to improve communications with our citizens.
Okay. So, couple of big items that we hear a lot about, infrastructure and quality of life. We'll begin with your priorities as it pertains to infrastructure.
Very good. Right now, the priority is getting our water and sewer system updated. We have 185 miles of water mains, and half are the old cast iron type. They are breaking at an average of 150 times a year, resulting in approximately over $400,000 of good, clean water on the ground, plus another $100,000 in overtime and material costs. The estimated cost to replace all the cast iron mains in the city is $49 million. It's a big figure. We have 125 miles of sanitary sewer, and 2/3 of that are the old clay and concrete type. We can reline approximately 70% of these, but the other must be replaced. The estimated cost to do all of this is $33 million. We have issues with infiltration, sewer manholes, lift stations, and force mains. We also have major work to be done on our water towers and updating our water treatment plant. All of these fixes, including the ones I just mentioned, total comes to $97 million.
Okay. So, on the other side, you have the quality of life. Where's your priorities when it comes to quality of life?
Well, right now, Bob, our number one priority is housing. Business in the areas have asked us to help them improve housing and quality of life in the area so more of their employees will live here in Mount Vernon. We've been working on this issue for some time now and started to see some improvement. The mayor just recently developed a plan on building back our neighborhoods, and that is being studied now. We also need to continue to improve our parks and recreations to help employees want to live in Mount Vernon. So that's where we're at now.
Okay. Okay, there's much discussion about the amount of debt that the city has accrued in the past 8 years. Whether you agree with what the money has been spent on or not, what is your plan to ensure that this is paid back? And in tandem with that, have you identified any other ways that this debt could be paid back or the debt retired sooner?
I appreciate the question. Just a little background. In 2009, the city adopted our new comprehensive plan. The plan was put together by a wide variety of people from the city. It outlined much of the needs of the city to improve and grow. The council had many retreats as a result of that and developed a priority list of capital improvements for the city. And that set the stage. The city identified transportation and water and sewer capital projects to be funded through our 2010 bond issuance. And that was a $9 million bond issuance. The 2012 bond issuance was $35 million. And that would include more of the transportation and water and sewer capital projects, as well as new identified economic development and quality of life capital projects. A new revenue stream was identified and restricted to retire both of these bonds after 20 years at an average of roughly 3.6% rate. The revenue would come from a 1% food and beverage sales tax, a 2-cent per gallon diesel tax, a 1% telecommunication tax, a 0.5% home rule sales tax, and 3% public utility rate increases beginning in May of 2009. We also built a small reserve into these various possible variances. So we have identified and restricted the revenue stream to pay back both of these bonds valued at about $45 million.
Okay. The Armory has become a hot topic. as the state of Illinois has offered to put $1.5 million into this facility if the city puts an additional $500,000 into it. What is your stance on this facility?
We're very excited to get the $1.5 million offer. I feel that the facility is definitely needed, and the demand is very high for a multi-purpose facility, especially in our downtown area. The city right now is presently studying the issue, and pending the results, I'm in favor of moving forward to the next step and going out for bids. This will provide us a more accurate cost assessment and then allow us to actually get closer to making the final decision.
Okay. We hear a lot about growth, both in jobs and population. What is your plan for each and your priority in addressing these?
Jobs and population are very important. We should continue to be a very friendly, business-friendly city and help our existing businesses grow and then support the new businesses that are coming to town. We've annexed 850 acres west of the interstate, and we've created new TIF districts in that area. We extended water, sewer, and roads and built a new industrial park. The city realized approximately $1 billion of new private investment, resulting in over 1,500 new jobs. We have the economic tools in place now, and I feel we will continue to be successful with more growth and jobs. Also, we need to continue to focus on one of the city's highest priorities, which is housing, and target developers and housing stock to meet the new employee needs.
Okay. The city makes financial commitments to various entities. What are your commitments to the Jefferson County Development Corporation, Downtown Development, and the Convention and Tourism Department? And with that, do you prefer a public-private structure or strictly governmental structure?
Appreciate that. Back in 2004, the city commissioned the Prager entity to do a study and economic development, because we were looking at changing the economic development structure at that time, and the Prager study indicated the most efficient and effective economic development organization was a public-private funded source organization. Both the JCDC and the Downtown Development Corporation are funded this way, and they report up to their respective boards. Tourism is funded through state grants and the hotel motel tax, and they report up to the city manager. A full-time tourism director is required to maintain the state funding, and that's why we have a full-time director now. All three organizations are working well, and I support leaving them as they are.
Okay. We hear a lot about unfunded pension liabilities, especially in the state of Illinois. With that in mind, we know that our own fire and police pensions are currently underfunded. What is your plan to address this issue if duly elected?
Unfunded pension liability is huge for the city. The city presently has an approximate $30 million unfunded pension liability for our fire, our police, and our IMRF workers. All of this was caused by the state, mandated to us by the state. We follow and meet the mandated yearly payments standard set by the state, and will continue to do so.
Okay. We have been hearing a lot about the closure of 7th Street for the rail transfer operation. Where do you stand on this and why?
I'll get into a little more detail because I know this has popped up quite a bit. The JCDC commissioned a logistic rail study that showed both Jefferson County and Mount Vernon had unique opportunity, as it has 3 Class 1 railroad companies that converge in our region. There was a great economic development opportunity if an east-west rail connection could be made. Milano already had connections with Norfolk and Western Union Pacific, which are more north-south. That study started the discussion between Milano's and Evansville Western. They had both talked and agreed that there was great potential for transloading and maybe even an intermodal operation at the Milano rail yard. Evansville Western approached the city and indicated that they wanted to place a switch and extend their rail into the Milano yard at a cost of $500,000. if the city would close 7th Street rail crossing to improve both safety and also to save them $200,000 of additional costs to go ahead and grade that crossing. Milano said they would agree to the closure even though most of the traffic to their business used that crossing. Also, they committed to improve their yard to make this connection. The city saw the huge opportunity for economic development for increased rail service, not only to Milano, but also as a big incentive to entice new business into the region. The city recognized there would be inconvenience, but felt the economic growth potential for Mount Vernon and for the region was too great not to pursue. Since the closing, there has been increased transloading operations and new potential growth for the area. As long as both Evansville Western and Milano Rail meet the terms of the contract, I see no reason to try to break the existing agreement.
Okay. Please tell us what you see as the strengths and opportunities that this city currently has and what you will do to build on these.
Our strengths and opportunities are all hinge on the fact that we are growing and improving our city. We had over $1 billion worth of private investments and over 1,500 new jobs from most of our existing business and some of our new industries coming in the area. And that included Continental Tire, National Railway, Walgreens Distribution Center, Magnum Steel, Phoenix Elevator, SSM Good Samaritan Hospital, Crossroads Hospital, Pepsi Mid-America, United Rentals, Jung Trucking, Spinball, Williams Asia, Times Square Mall, Hobby Lobby, and so forth. The new Holiday Inn Doubletree, Holiday Inn Express, Drury Inn, and so forth. I'll just cut that chart. There's been a lot of activity from a lot of our own businesses, and that's why we've grown so much. We need to, however, continue our aggressive growth initiative and focus on helping our existing businesses grow and, of course, then support new businesses coming to the area.
Well, with strengths and opportunities, you also have to look at the weaknesses and threats. So what do you see as the weaknesses and threats facing Mount Vernon, and what will you do to address these?
Interesting enough, that 2004 Prager study addressed that very thing. They surveyed people outside the community as well as inside the community looking for an economic link to go ahead and grow our city. What their study showed, the biggest weakness in Mount Vernon was the negativity in our own community. People outside the community thought well of us, our own people thought we weren't doing very well. I believe as we continue to grow and improve, this will get better over time, the negativity. Outside the community, however, the biggest threat is more of the uncertainty with our state and the negative impact that can have on all of us. So that's it.
You've been on the city council for the last 8 years. If elected mayor, what are some of the experiences you'll draw on from the past 8 years talk to some of the success and some of the things that you felt could have been done differently that you will do differently if elected mayor?
Appreciate that. The things that work really well was, and I've been really fortunate to serve with the mayor and the council, as they've been very progressive and supportive. And because of that and working well together, we've been able to do many positive things, many positive changes for the city. And that truly has worked. Now, what has not worked so well, for me anyway, is moving too fast on some changes. And it's a lesson to learn, and a big lesson was like when we were trying to sell the water system. We just moved too fast for that, and basically all I can say is that you live and learn from something like that, and that's where what I take away from all of that.
Okay. Well, that concludes the questions. Any final thoughts? Anything you would like to let the people know why they should vote for Dennis McEnaney to be our next mayor?
I appreciate that. I'll just summarize that, and I'll go back to what I said in the very beginning. Our council has worked very well together, and we've recognized early on that the city was in trouble. And we went back through the statistics of population. The present population is lower than what it was in 1950. From 1980, it has gone down for 3 censuses in a row. It's been declining. People have been leaving. We realized that, and we recognized that we wanted to change that, and that's why we implemented a strong, comprehensive plan, and we followed up with bonding, financial support to do the things we needed to do. We prioritized all these capital projects, restricted them just for capital projects, and we've completed them. And as a result of that, we've seen the city grow, change, and we've had over $1 billion of private investment and resulting in over 1,500 new jobs. Our unemployment has gone down. Our value of homes have gone up. Our job unemployment level has gone from 10% down to 6-something%. And we've been successful, and we're seeing now, today, developers coming to us. And we've got more on the horizon, more coming. And we're very excited about that. And I'm excited to serve in the city and excited that we're able to do what we've done. So thank you for your interview time.